Hi everyone, and we are live here on Instagram at the same time I'm recording for YouTube. Today we will have a short Q&A session. I'm actually quite busy today. We have a summer party at our company. But nevertheless, I had to go to Munich because I had an appointment and a meeting here. But yeah, I have to leave in like 15 minutes, so we have to keep it short. Nevertheless, nice to have you here. If you're live in the chat, then please write where you are from, as always, so that we see how international we are. And if you have any questions, then just write them down here in the chat. Hey Kevin, nice to have you here. And then I will go through them. I received two questions up front that I want to talk about first, and in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, then just write in the chat. So the first question that I received was about my toughest consulting project that I had. And I have a pretty clear answer to that. It was like my second project in management consulting, and this was the first larger project that I did, and it was a footprint optimization. So this means that a company, it was a production company, so they had several plants across Europe, and our job was to redesign the footprint, which basically means that you think about, okay, what kind of machines can you allocate in what kind of plant, and to have the best impact on the EBITDA, okay, so on profitability. And this was a very tough project because it was very complex, it was very international, there was heavy traveling involved, so I had like 2 to 4 flights every week on average. So it was pretty tough, so I had like very long days, and this was very exhausting. And at the same time, I had a very senior project manager who was a great sales guy, but and gave me a lot of responsibility. But at that time, it was too much responsibility for me. So I was responsible for the entire business case, for doing meetings with the CEO on my own. And that was very, very tough and very, very challenging. So in terms of workload and sleep, this was very, very tough. So that was probably my toughest project, and I definitely learned some lessons there about project management, about that you have to give responsibility to your people. Especially now that I'm a project manager, I always remember or remind myself of that time. So I try to give the people as much responsibility as possible, but I also have to try as a project manager now that I give them the support and the help that they need, so that they are not overwhelmed as I was back then. The second question that I received, and again, if you have any question, then just write them in the chat. The second question that I received was about my phone. So you asked me what kind of phone I use. And basically we get a new phone every year from our company. And so we get the newest iPhone version. So I'm currently using a iPhone 13, I think it's the current model. But it actually doesn't make a difference. So I think the difference between the 12 model and 13 model is not that big. Okay, and I typically try to have 2 phones. I have one phone for work, and there I have no apps on it, so no social media apps, no nothing that can distract me, because this is kind of the biggest factor of unproductivity for me if I surf on Instagram or do stuff like that, and it keeps me very unproductive. So I actually try to have one phone without the apps, and then in the evening I have one phone with the apps, and this is also where I then do all the communication here on this channel. Does knowledge analyst comes under strategic consulting in MBB? So what depends on what you mean. So knowledge, if you're a knowledge analyst, this typically means that you work in the know-how department. So every consultancy has or most consultancies have a knowledge department. Okay, so these are people within the company that are supporting with research, that take care of all the databases and stuff like that. And this is very, very research based and knowledge based jobs that you do there and tasks that you have. And as a consultant, you are more on the project. Actually, you are always on a project in the best case, and there you are more like on the problem solving side, okay? And the knowledge analyst is more on the knowledge side and the research side, okay? And typically, I mean, it's a support function, okay? So this is not like being a real consultant, but I saw many people who first went to the knowledge department and then went into consulting. So if this is a way that you want to go, this is certainly a possibility. When are you uploading the second course? I hope that I can do it next weekend. There we have a bank holiday, so I have time to take care of all the coursework, because currently I'm very busy with doing content and all this, uploading of the course, setting up the pages and the environment. This is a lot of work, and I will probably do it next weekend, because there I have like 3 to 4 days where I can entirely work on the course. Should I join Deloitte or KPMG? This is totally up to you. I always say, and this is also what I talk about in the consulting crash course, I think the most important thing is that you reflect on the aspects that are important to you. Okay, so I would suggest to make a list of all the important factors. This could be like work-life balance, people and culture, salary, prestige, brand, stuff like that. And then I would make a rating, okay, so that you compare Deloitte to KPMG, and then make a rating along your personal criteria. Because the thing is, I cannot give you any kind of recommendation, because I'm not you, and I have different preferences than you have. So you have the choice to make on your own. Due to low GPA and profile, new graduates can become a consultant. Yes, they can, but it's probably a bit more effort for you, okay? So the easiest way is always to just have very good grades. So if you have a low GPA, then I would really focus, on doing the best possible at university, and then just work your way up. And if you don't, if you already graduated, then it's always a possibility to go to a job first, really become an expert, and then join consulting on a later stage. This is also a way that you can do. What do you think about selling strategy and implementation? I think that's very common, actually, especially in strategy consulting, because the thing is, there are not that many strategy topics. So it's very common that you do the strategy first, and then after that sell the implementation. And this is the last question. I'm so sorry. You heard it probably. My door bell rang, so I have to go to the door. I thank you for your time. It was always a pleasure, and we do a next Q&A probably next week. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, then please just write me. Have a good one. Bye bye.